The field hums before you name it. Can you feel it? And what is this hum that I'm talking about? It's the core of your essence. Do you feel your frequency within you? Um, what I believe is that we all have an innate frequency that we're vibrating at. And when we go through life and we learn different things and take on different ways of being, some that aren't necessarily ourselves, like our most natural or aligned way of being, then we kind of get shifted off of that true frequency that you want to be vibrating at. And there's always like a low level, like a rumble that exists there with you. It's always there. And when you start to attune to it, you'll begin to find your alignment. That's a really interesting thing that I've been noticing or thinking about over the last many, many days, many, many years even. And I think that there's something where it becomes more real the more that you understand it. And it's almost like there's noise around, like a clean signal. So if you think about when you're feeling any kind of negative emotion, sad, angry, anxious, worried, like in those states, you're feeling likely very kind of scattered and frazzled. Whereas when you're in those more positive states, like joy and peace and happiness, then you get a cleaner signal. So understanding that that clean signal underlies all of your experience, even in the good times and the bad times, that signal is always there. And the truth of our experience is that we will always be in some kind of up or a down. That's the variation. That's the gift that we have in this life, where we can experience all the different range of emotions and experience that we have available to us. So I had a conversation with a friend like many years ago now, maybe almost 6 years ago, and maybe more, talking about how in kind of like spiritual circles, there's this feeling of like, sometimes there's a feeling of like I'm better than you from some people who find themselves very spiritual. And that's part of the process, because when you first awaken and realize that there's something more to this whole experience than you, and you begin to try to move more and more towards that quote unquote high level, I think there's a misconception that you always have to be at a high. And if you're not at a high, then something is going wrong. But when you're always at a high, or when you're always aiming for a high and you find yourself not there for whatever reason, then it's very easy to then kind of fall back down and experience that low again, and then feel really bad about it, hold on to guilt and shame. And then, as true as you are vibrating at your frequency, you may also experience this guilt and shame that you're holding on to for various reasons. So there's a process as you go through this of understanding that the spiritual experience is the human experience itself, the thing that you are here to experience, all the ups, all the downs, all the highs, all the lows. And to be able to move through all of these things at your most authentic, in your most authentic self, like just basically showing up as you, is the highest that you could ever vibrate, right? Like if you think about like signals and frequencies, when they're clean and there's no noise kind of like interfering, then you get the full signal. You show up, you just show up as you. So that's kind of an interesting thought to think about on this day. What day is it actually? It's August 2nd. So it's something that's interesting to think about. And it leads me to my kind of recent reflection of thinking that all external reflections, indications, are things that we kind of see of our past selves. If you think about, I was walking through a mall earlier today in my local neighborhood. It was our local mall, and I've been going there since I was a child, like probably like 5 years old. So it's been a number of years, and I just had this sensation of like, I've been here a long time. And so, like, kind of walking through, it's easy sometimes to fall back into different experiences or past experiences and those feelings. And then you might experience nostalgia. You might experience like a tinge of loss because that time has gone past. But anything that you experience is always in the past. And anything that's future and yet to come has not existed yet. So even when you're looking at yourself, so thinking about memories is like, okay, that's a separation. That was then, this is now. But even when you're in the moment and like looking at yourself in the mirror, that light that's reflected back to you is old. It's come from milliseconds before or shorter, right? Like whatever that time measurement might be. So then the truest, the closest you can ever get to the future is now in the present. So then feeling that, and that idea, that illusion of movement of time, that we're going to get to another place, kind of messes with like how the change and transformation in us actually happens, which is it happens now. There gets to be a point where you realize that you're different. And when you get to that point, it's sometimes like you can go back and forth where you have like, oh, like I'm feeling like this new different me, and then sometimes you fall back. And it's like the more that you observe and experience that like newer version of you, the more current version of you, the easier it gets to feel into that. Somewhere along the way, your mind shifts to accepting that future you as you. And when you have that acceptance, that's when you can let go of everything else and fully become the you in the present. So thinking about that from this position that I'm sitting in now, I'm always moving into the future and evolving, while this video, anything that I write, any way that I show up in front of other people, and even any way that I observe myself are observations of the past, where I'm going to be still growing and changing. And I may feel differently materially in this moment. Like it could be like, oh, I had this switch and now I feel like I'm ready. So what I was like thinking about yesterday and thinking about that, of like feeling into that future self, it really kind of highlights that idea for me that I am enough in this moment, because in this moment is the only one I'm experiencing. And when I'm enough in this moment, then I'm always enough. It will be perpetual and forever, because now is forever. So take a pause sometimes, pause and pull yourself out of all the stories that you've created for yourself. Take a break, even just set them down, just take them and put them aside for a moment and just sit there and experience this moment. Because this is like you moving into the future. This is the feeling of the future coming into the present. So rather than feeling like you are chasing something, let the future come to you. Act as if you are already how you want to be, and see what changes. We'll see you. Bye.